folks, in this video I'm going to be replacing the wheel bearings on this trailer. I've already done the ones the far side, and this one has a small amount of play in it, so it's time to do it. First we're going to pop off the wheel. We're going to remove the plastic cover on the front of the hub nut now. Just going to use a screwdriver to pry it off. And now I can take off our hub nut. These are normally a 24 or a 27 mil. There's a washer behind it. We should be able to just tap the hub off then. So after a bit of tapping on this one, it seems quite tight compared to the one on the far side. So we're going to just use a 3-jaw puller, and hopefully that'll knock it loose. Yeah, it's sliding out now, nice and easily. So there we go, we have two bearings, a smaller one on the outside and a larger one on the inside. This one has stayed on, so if we can't get it off we might have to cut it, and this one will tap out nice and easily. So I attempted using the pullers on the bearing, but as expected it just pulled the outer race off. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop off the bearing cage. And then we're going to cut a slice into this without going deeper than the bearing, then give it a tap with a hammer and it should come off freely. So after cutting a slot into the side of the bearing, we can give it a whack with a cold chisel and a hammer. And that's fractured it through, and it should tap off. And we have no damage on the surface. With the hub and the vise now, we can just tap out the outer bearing. And that's it out now fully. To install the new bearings, first make sure that they're identical, that the sizes are correct, and then clean out and put a little bit of light oil on the inside surface. We're going to use our old bearing to make it easier to push the new one in, then a flat surface on top of it, and it should tap in very easily. Can then finish it with a punch or a bolt. You'll hear the sound change when you're fully in. And repeat the same for the far side, and visually inspect it to make sure that the bearing is seated back into the shoulder where it should be. To reinstall the hub, I have wire brushed down the two surfaces where the bearings go on and put a bit of oil on them. I'm going to offer it up, and I'm going to put on our old hub nut, and we're going to use that as a little bit of a press, just to apply a little bit of pressure to get them to slide back on. This won't cause any damage to the bearings because it's very little force needed to get it fully seated. That's the hub nut tight. And our hub spins nicely, no noise, nice and free and not binding up. So that's how you change bearings on this type of hub. These are of course ball bearings compared to the more traditional roller bearings which you would see on a lot of these type of trailers. These are a little bit more complicated because you have to pack the grease into them and then you have to set the tension in the hub when you're tightening things up. Okay, hopefully that was of some use. Cheers, bye bye.